Thank you for tuning in to the Life Be podcast with Sami-K. Your support means the world to us. Please leave a comment, subscribe, and share to help us grow and continue bringing you valuable content. We appreciate you.
Good day, good afternoon, good morning, and we're back at the Life Be podcast. Today is a great day, and this is the day that the Lord has made, and we shall rejoice and be glad in it. I'm excited, like you see. Please like, share, click the notification button so you can get updates every time we have an episode out. And I'm excited today because I have a beautiful young lady that is an author. This is the first time we're having an author on the podcast, and this is going to be very interesting. First of all, thank you for watching. Thank you for following. Please leave us a review. We're on Apple Pods. We're on YouTube. We're on Spotify. We're on Amazon Music Podcast. We're on YouTube Music, which was formerly Google Pod. Now it's YouTube Music. That's where you find the podcast. And we like to know what you think. You can email us lifebpod@gmail and leave a comment in there. Tell us what you think. What was your favorite? What was your takeout? And you can support us financially. We're on Cash App. You can give mobile money. All the details of how you can partner with us on this so we can keep bringing you all these wonderful stories is right there in the description. And without further ado, I have a beautiful lady, like I told you. She has a unique name, Tikia. Tikia. Tikia.
With grace.
And she adds with grace. So that statement sounds like Tikia means dance. That's how the statement in my mind is like dance with grace.
Dance with grace.
Tikia. I know why it sounds like dance because there's in Swahili, I think it's called tingisha. So Tikia with grace. Why Tikia with grace?
So Tikia with grace, the name has a story.
Oh, so it's not Tikia, it's Tikia.
Tikia. I think
Like
the
Tikia.
enunciation of the name depends. It's like tomato. So sometimes I say Tikia. My dad says Tikia. You say, how do you pronounce it?
Tikia.
Yes, like my dad. So I'm not bothered by how the name is pronounced because
Okay.
different people pronounce it differently.
Tikia.
So for me, I say Tikia because it sounds fancy.
Like take care. Take care.
Tikia sounds fancy.
What does
Tikia
Tikia
reminds me
mean?
of my father. Like I'm at home and you're like, yes, what
Like
do you
it
want
might be
me
like,
to do,
Tikia,
sir?
come here.
Yes.
What does Tikia mean? Tikia.
So Tikia is a whole sentence according to my dad. So Tikia is his favorite auntie's name
Okay.
from the Congo. And it means she speaks because she has a voice. So it's like a whole sentence in
She
there.
speaks because she has a voice. Tikia
Yes.
speaks because she has a voice. Then you added with grace.
With grace, because that voice is nothing without the grace of God.
You're one of those church girls.
Yes, I am very churchy.
Really? That's interesting.
Very, very churchy.
Good
I
to
grew
know.
up in Sunday school. Strayed a bit there, but went back.
Wow, that's interesting. Who is Tikia?
Tikia. Who is Tikia? I have been asking myself that question ever since I wrote the book.
Okay.
Launched last year on my birthday. And because it's a memoir, there's so many things about myself that I discovered. And so because I poured a lot into it, I sort of came out empty. So it's like I'm rediscovering who this girl is. Also, I turned 30 and I feel like
happy 30th.
that is also like a new season. So who I am is changing. But the things that are constant about Tikia is that she's a child of God. She's loved by God. She's also a mother of one beautiful baby girl who is 5. She's called Erin. And she's a writer, something that I came into acceptance last year. Before that, I was just saying, I write once in a while. Never really identified as a writer. But after the experience with writing the book, now I can confidently say that I am a writer. Tika is also passionate about seeing ideas come to life.
Okay.
And so you'll find me behind certain events, pushing certain agendas for people, just helping them enter into the fullness of their purpose. I find so much joy in helping do that. I also recently fell in love with doodling. So I doodle a lot. I love to read and write. Last week I fell in love with audiobooks, and now I think that's what I'm going to be doing this entire year, because life can be lifing and you may not have time to like open a book. Also, the eyes are starting to play, do a number on me, so the audiobooks are quite interesting. And so I guess that's what I'm going to be doing this year, audiobooks, and once in a while maybe read, so that I don't lose touch with paper, because I also love paper. I love stationery. I love art. I love good music. I love silence.
You love art, good music, and then silence. That's like the other side of that spectrum.
I know.
Like music, art is intense. It's, but then you love silence. Okay.
I like to think I'm very multi-dimensional. So there are mornings where I wake up and I want it to be silent. Then there are other days when I wake up and I want to dance.
Do you do yoga?
I used to, but I stopped because of all the politics around it that I found on YouTube. And
which is what?
It's I do not want to offend the people who are doing it.
No,
but
we're talking about what you found.
It has some spiritual things to it that are not of the light.
Okay.
And so the more that you do it, the deeper you get into a certain spirituality that I think is not of God. So I like to stay on the safe side of things. Okay. So I just removed myself from the situation. But I'd forgotten, I love running. I started running last year in September. I got my first medal 2 weeks ago.
Wow.
For doing a 10K. Yeah, so I enjoy running. It makes me, like, I think it's my other, I don't want to call it a distraction, but a hobby, just like that doodling, the music. Running is also something like that for me. I enjoy doing it.
That's interesting. Who did you think you were before the discovery?
I actually didn't think a lot. I lived in a bubble. I knew that I liked to read, so that was one of the things I looked forward to doing. I didn't like people a lot because I was scared of them, so you'd never see me doing any kind of public speaking or putting myself out there in any way. I like to be behind the scenes. But then I also had a love for food. So there's a time when I was in the food industry, in the hospitality business, managed a couple of restaurants.
Wow.
And so I wanted to grow my career in that, doing operations in the hospitality industry.
That's beautiful.
So that was the dream. I had other dreams before, but I guess when they died, because I loved food, food was a path I wanted to take. Once in a while I would write, but not seriously. I think it's until I became a mom that I entered into my creative self, which is 5 years ago. So I had no idea that one day I'd have a blog, or I'd have written a book, or I'd be in the creative space. I did not see that one coming.
Wow. Writing a book takes a lot. I've written about 5 books. I've not published yet. I'm starting my first one. It's actually in the editing phase right now. God willing, I should have one out this year. But it takes a lot, depending on the kind of book you're writing, but it takes a lot of preparation, a lot of evaluation, a lot of back and forth. What pushed you to write, I thought I would wear heels to my wedding?
Firstly, again, after becoming a mom, I started to write. And so the idea of writing a book one day was there. I never really thought that I'd actually do it. But the idea was there to write a book. And because most of my storytelling is very creative nonfiction.
Mm-hmm.
I'm always writing like true stories, mostly about myself, rarely about other people. And yeah, so it was also tough asking myself, am I oversharing? Are there certain things I shouldn't be writing about? And so that sort of, I had like a fear of publishing, because I was asking myself, what would I publish? I haven't ventured much into fiction. That would be easy to do because you're not writing about yourself. But then in 2023, when I joined Mavuno, I enrolled for Fearless Institute, and one of the requirements was write a book.
Yeah.
So that gave me a push. I remember in November, before I even signed up for Fearless Institute, the title of the book came to me. I thought I'd wear heels to my wedding. And it didn't make sense then, but I just woke up one morning and then I wrote it down. And then it kept coming back, but I didn't know what to do with it. I guess I needed a push, so I ended up at Fearless Institute, and that's how my book writing journey happened. So some of us need a deadline.
I know.
I guess it's the deadline that worked for me.
So first of all, congratulations
Thank you very much.
on publishing your first book. Very beautiful. It looks nice. I see forward by Penelope Sanyu.
Yes.
How did you meet Sanyu?
I met Sanyu at the studio. I work at Agandi Studios.
Yeah.
And she's a friend of Agandi Studios. So she had come to do a shoot. I'd seen her online. I'd seen her initiative Kweshonga. And I'd grown a liking to her.
Yeah.
She seemed like a woman in her element. Like she's living her best life, and I was intrigued by her. So I asked for a coffee date. And we went out for coffee. And when she came with a book. She gifted me a book.
Yeah.
And a note. And that also intrigued me. Now when I'm meeting someone for the first time, I always carry something. It doesn't have to be a book. It can be a chocolate. I was going to say, I am not meeting you for the first time. I've met you before. That's why you didn't receive anything. It's usually for people I'm meeting for the first time.
I was trying to wonder, why have I not
I didn't
gotten
know
you
that when I
chocolate
met
or-
you. I didn't know that when I met you. But
Yeah.
like after meeting her last year, it's
Yeah.
a tradition that I try to carry. I don't put myself on too much pressure. But when I can, I usually carry something for
That's
someone I'm
beautiful.
meeting for the first time. That's one thing that she told me.
What do you really like about her?
I like that she is exactly who she thinks she is. She is a woman who, again, is living a life of purpose. She's convinced about this thing that she's doing. She knows who she is. Her energy exudes of that. And that is what drew me to her. And when I was talking to her, I remember telling her, you feel like me in the future. I aspire to be like you.
That's why I was asking this question.
I've not had a role model.
Yeah.
But when I met Penelope, had a conversation with her, she became that for me. And yeah, so she's like me in the future. She's a kind of woman I want to be. She talked about her life being lived in seasons, where there's a season that she's doing something and then the Lord asks her to do something else, which I feel is my story. I find that because, again, I feel I'm very multi-dimensional. Could be an author today. Who knows? Next year I may start doing spoken word.
Yeah.
And sometimes because of the kind of world we live in, ideally you should identify as one thing.
Yeah, which is not true.
Yes. So because you're looking for that one thing and yet you're so many things, you can get a little bit confused.
Yeah.
So seeing her do all these different things and prosper and flourish, yeah, I just fell in love with her. And I was like, I really want to be like you when I grow up. I'm a very small cup push away from getting an eye piercing like her. But I fear needles. Otherwise, I would do exactly what she does. Yeah.
She's a very interesting person. I was with Sanyu at Worship Harvest. And she was part of the creative team, part of the leadership out there. She's a very creative woman. She's a lawyer, but you can't even tell she's a lawyer.
Exactly my point.
She'll be in decoration, doing programs, fixing this needs to be here, organization. She has a lot of organizational skills. She has a creative eye. And that's why I was asking why Penelope. And when somebody chooses one person to write a foreword for them, it means a lot. It's not because the person is just available and cool.
Yes.
And that's why I asked. So let's dive into this book. What are the best parts of this book for you? Because this is basically your story.
Yes.
Maybe I'll start at I thought I would wear heels to my wedding. Is a poignant exploration of love, self-discovery, and the unexpected turns life can take. Set against a backdrop of cultural expectations and personal dreams, this story follows a young woman's journey through the complexities of relationships and identity. As she deals with the ups and downs of love and loss, she learns to find strength in being vulnerable and to appreciate the beauty in imperfections. This heartfelt story highlights the power of healing and the bravery needed to accept who we really are. It also highlights the resilience of the human spirit and the courage to embrace one's true self, even when the future differs from earlier expectations.
Wow. What a woman.
Yeah, she's sitting right here in the room with
What
me.
a woman.
So why I thought I would wear heels to my wedding. That is like very on the other side of book titles.
I know. And to think that I almost changed it to do something that is the norm, like a one word or not a mouthful. Because I can't even hashtag that.
I know.
I can't say hashtag I thought I'd wear heels
Like you
to my
probably
wedding.
think heels to my wedding.
Yeah, but then you're taking
my
away
wedding.
like
But then it doesn't have the context of what
exactly.
you're doing.
So every word is needed
yes,
for
need
it to
the
make sense.
whole phrase.
And then you can't even do like the first letters because it does not make sense like that.
Yeah.
So like it didn't make marketing sense.
Yes.
It didn't make selling sense. Like how do you sell that? But again, because it's an idea that God put in my heart,
yeah,
I couldn't get rid of it. I tried, believe me, I tried.
I think it's good. It's a mouthful, but it's a statement.
I did a poll with friends trying to get something shorter. And we even voted some other name, which I don't even remember. And we ended up back to where it all began. I thought I'd wear heels to my wedding.
There's things you don't change. Once God places it on your heart, you just go with
Believe
it.
me,
you just go in
I
circles.
tried to change it, but I ended up going back to where it all began.
Yeah.
I thought I'd wear heels to my wedding. And before I did not understand, but during the writing process, it made sense. As a child, one of the things that I looked forward to was my wedding. And I always admired women who wore heels and a wedding dress. Like they looked glamorous, they looked good, they looked like they were happy, they looked like everything was going on well for them. And I wanted to be that woman in a dress and heels. And then I grow up, life happens, and you realize heels are not really that comfortable. Those dresses are really heavy.
Yeah.
Like there's nothing good about the heels and the dress. Like the way I imagined. You look good in pictures, but it's really, really uncomfortable. And the way I imagined it, I would be very, very comfortable. I'll be flaunting my dress. I'd be striding with a lot of confidence with my heels, but growing up and realizing it's not always like that.
It's a fairy tale.
Yes, it's a fairy tale. If you want a comfortable dress, you may not look as glamorous as the ball gown. If you want the ball gown, then you have to carry the weight of the ball gown. So, yeah, and it's sort of like a metaphor to life. I feel like in my, I was going to say time zone or in my era, we were fed a lot of fairy tales. We were not prepared for the reality of life.
Yeah.
Personally, my parents shielded me. And so I did not know what to expect except what I was told, what I watched in movies, what I read in books. And they always ended on a good note. Like there'd be some suffering there, but it always end.
The end has to still be
Yeah,
glamorous.
on a good note. So like there's an order we knew. Do school. The career you've been thinking about is I'm going to be a doctor. I'm going to be an architect. I'm going to be an engineer. You assume that's what you're going to be as well. And then you go to university, you do the course, immediately after the course, you get a job, immediately after the job, the husband, very beautiful family,
Big
have
house,
kids,
big
big
car.
house, big car, 6-figure in your account. And that's not how life is. Even with a relationship with God, we are also I would say I don't want to speak for other people. You think of God as the provider of all my desires. And my desires without considering what his will is, without considering what his purpose is for your life. And so you just want what you want, and you believe and you expect that he will give you what you want, which is also not the case. So it's like everything was going wrong and I was confused and I didn't really have anyone to talk to about my confusion. It's like I wanted to be this. Oh, I thought this, but now it's this. I thought this, but now it's this. So yeah, the book is full of I thought this, but now it's this.
One of the parts that is memorable for me, I'll tell you, is the beginning, how your parents met, because I can relate with the place that's behind Hotel Equatoria, right?
Yes.
I grew up on Kampala Road, and I went to a school called St. Francis High School. St. Francis is on that road, was on that road, but at the end of that road, the one that connects to Bombo Road. Right now, there's a petrol station. It's opposite. You remember Bat Valley? So opposite.
I went to Bat Valley.
Oh, you did?
I did.
Okay, so opposite Bat Valley. No, go from Bat Valley as you're going down towards Hotel Equatoria. The next building after Bat Valley, opposite it is where St. Francis was. So when I was reading this, I'm like, oh, I could actually see the road. So it's interesting. Your dad meets your mom. Your mom was 15.
Did I mention the age? I know she was young and she lied about her age. And they almost broke up. But he was so in love. And he went back.
And it was about how old?
I don't remember the ages. I don't know if I mentioned that in the book.
I'm not going to tell you what I read.
Remember, I even told you I have not read that book. I'm still a little bit scared, too scared to face the reality of what my life has been in that way, because I feel like that's surreal. But I think he was in his early 20s. He was in his early 20s. Mom must have been like 14, 15 when they met, and she lied she was older because he was at uni in his first year, and she said she was in senior 4 and I think she was in senior 1.
Wow.
Yeah.
And how do you think that affected their relationship?
Affected their relationship how?
When they discovered the difference in age and all that. Yeah.
There wasn't really, because they ended up together anyway. I guess my dad felt betrayed because that was quite a big lie. She was a child. And he was an adult. Yes. He would go to prison and but I think they were able to maneuver that. So he waited, I believe, according to the story, because she had me when she was 19.
Okay.
Yes. So there was a bit. My dad said they almost broke up. He actually wanted to leave her, but apparently she insisted on the relationship, and so here I am today.
One of the things you talk about in the book is how how your father was very expressive and how he constantly told how he loved your mom. He was very verbal about it. And then he was very publicly affectionate, and your mother wasn't.
Wasn't.
And you according to the book, you kept wondering, did she really love him?
Mm.
What do you think in retrospect? Do you still feel the same way? Like, do you still have that, did she really love him, or it now makes sense?
I still wonder
Yeah.
if she really did love him.
Yeah.
But in retrospect,
Mm.
after I myself becoming a mom
Mm-hmm.
and seeing how much that, I don't want to say takes away, but for lack of a better word, it reshapes the mind
Mm-hmm.
of a woman, and your priorities sort of change.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess has changed. It changed maybe because of the circumstances around her, and maybe her priorities became her children or her job
Yeah.
or whatever it is she decided to prioritize. Or maybe she's just not an expressive, because I've come to learn that she is not as expressive, but her love language is acts of service. Yeah, so she will do stuff for you. She will be there. She will not say with words. And I guess for my dad, it was words of affirmation. And so he was doing that a lot, which I have also adopted. I also love words of affirmation. It makes me feel seen and present. I guess because mom was not doing that, I sort of judged her.
Yeah.
But now I actually know that she loves me. I don't know if she loves my dad. I haven't had that conversation with her, but I think she did.
That's what I was about to
Because,
ask, if you
like,
had the opportunity to have the conversation.
not yet. She's done a lot of acts of service. She's had 4 children.
Yeah. So sometimes we don't know, we're not aware of these things because we haven't had them modeled for us. And you're going to find out why I'm going there and asking, because then these things end up affecting how we see life, how we see relationships, how we see love, and how we make certain choices. Because this is what we have seen. It's all we know. We haven't been taught any different. And I'm wondering if that could be that side of her comes from her parents, or where she grew up. I don't know. What do you think?
Well, she comes from a big family.
Yeah.
My grandmother had 11 children, and she's number 10.
Yeah.
So that could have contributed to, because you're competing with so
9 other
many,
kids.
9 other kids. And so I guess
above you and 1 below you.
Yeah, so I guess she was forced to fend for herself. We haven't really had that conversation with her, and yeah, it's still difficult to conversate with my mother.
Yeah.
It changed after I had a child.
Yeah.
Now we can talk, but we are more focused on the present and the future. Never really go back in the past to diagnose why what happened or why we did the things that we did. The times we've tried, messy.
Yeah,
Very,
it's a messy job, because then you're dealing with feelings. You're
Yes.
dealing with things she probably doesn't want to face, things she doesn't know how to express or explain, things she probably doesn't even know how to deal with.
Yeah. So
Because sometimes as a person, some of those are trauma responses. It's things you've been through that you want buried.
yeah, I guess that's it for her.
Yeah.
We've tried to go back to the past,
Yeah.
but it doesn't end well. So yeah, so we focus on the present and the future. Our
And-
relationship is better now
Yeah.
since I
Because
became a
of the
mom.
book or because of
She
the baby?
hasn't read the book because of the baby.
Why
My
hasn't
dad
she read the
has.
book?
I
It's hard
guess-
for her to get into the emotion of it.
I do not think so. I also have not prompted her into
So
reading.
you're both playing it safe by
Yes.
keeping her from the book.
We're playing it safe.
Yeah.
It's quite a lot
Yes,
in there,
it's a lot to unpack.
and I do not know if she's ready for
Yeah.
it, given that up to date we have not had the messy conversation we should, and it ends well. So I guess we're not there yet.
And how does that make you feel?
I think I have found peace
Mm.
in knowing that certain things sometimes may not be solved. We may never get closure for certain things, and sometimes it's important to focus on the now,
Yeah.
present, and the future, and also cultivating forgiveness and asking myself those questions of if I have forgiven, because I believe we all do things for a reason. Like, no one is outrightly bad or evil.
Yeah.
No one is outrightly very good. Like, certain things contributed to who we become. And because I do not know her story, I can't judge her.
Okay.
Yeah, and so forgiveness and finding healing with what is available, because what if
Okay.
we never have that conversation? Shall I stay in the past? Yeah,
Do you-
sometimes there's no closure.
Yeah, unfortunately. Do you consider yourself a go-getter, or the younger you was a go-getter?
That's a tough question. I
Go
think
on.
I am a go-getter because I have no choice
Ah,
but to be.
you don't like uncertainty.
Yes.
Okay, I see that. I mean, I get that from the story where there's this boy who liked you and you had to go and face him. Like, what's up?
Yes.
After dodging, the guy leaves the school, and your friends are like, you have to talk to him and all these things. And then, have you seen that guy again?
No.
You know the particular one I'm talking about, right?
I do. Unfortunately, not. Once in
Okay.
a while on Facebook.
Yeah.
Yeah, but no.
Okay.
No.
Okay, so do you think you're a go-getter?
I do not think so.
Okay.
Again, I think it is by
You don't like the discomfort of unresolved things.
yes. So
You like for things to be clear, know what's happening, know what decisions have been taken,
and you have to be a go-getter
to get that information and
So
close that door.
should I call myself a go-getter then, because I do not like uncertainty? I like to take charge.
I wouldn't call it. I don't think it would be a go-get. I think you don't like the discomfort that comes with it.
Yeah. My friends call me go-getter because once I set my mind to something, I will make sure I accomplish it.
Oh, okay. Then
So there's that discipline.
I
guess
think that's a principle you have. I don't think that necessarily makes you a go-getter. I don't know. But I think it's principle. Maybe you
Yeah.
are.
maybe. Again, like I
Yeah.
said, I'm discovering who this woman is.
Yeah. So then you have the perception of what love should be created for you by TV, movies. That's I'm going off what you've written in the book. It's not like I've sat and psychoanalyzed who you are. This is stuff I've read. What has been that what would I call it? Rude awakening. You're like, man, this is not real. Like, what's that point? How do you get to that point?
How do I get to that point?
Yeah.
I guess growing up and seeing my father be expressive and not paying attention to the negative side of the relationship, like
Yeah.
were for a while only exposed to the good side. My dad gifting her, him saying he loves her, her sort of blushing. Then you're watching TV, you see a bit of conflict, but it always gets resolved. And what was the question again?
What was the
the
awakening for you
rude
to say this is
awakening.
not real? Yeah.
And then growing up in my teens and hearing stories from my friends of like absent fathers. My father beat my mom noticing that happening in my household and wondering, is this
Then is
what
this what
love
love
is?
looks like? Yeah.
Is this what it's supposed to be like? Are we supposed to accept these things? Yeah, so it was just noticing things around me change and realizing that getting beaten actually causes pain. A loud argument is painful. People say mean things to each other. It does not feel good. Love is supposed to feel good all the time.
Yeah.
Why are some of these things not feeling nice? Not feeling good? Even when you read a book, I guess even when my mind starts to go and I'm reading and you're experiencing someone go through pain and you're wondering, why are they going through pain? They're in love.
Yeah.
It should be roses only. But then realizing there's actually thorns and not knowing what to do with it. And then even with my personal relationship with God, noticing that I'm not getting what I want.
Yeah.
What do you mean? What do you mean I can't get what I want?
Yet you're the one who gives everything
Exactly,
to the children
like,
you love.
You say you love me. Why am I not getting what I want? So just, I think, noticing my mind is growing and I'm starting to see and wonder and question what love actually is, because in my mind, it's supposed to feel good only.
Okay. There's one part I told you I stopped for a bit. Let me see. Where is it? Where is it? Where is it? Where is it? What chapter? Is it in Broken Promises? Let me see.
Broken Promises. I fear that chapter. I'm so scared of that chapter.
This one.
Broken Promises? Wow.
I like it.
Why? I had to take time off to recover from writing Broken Promises.
Okay. Okay, let's go to the part where you realize you're pregnant.
Which pregnancy?
I don't know. You tell us. I don't want to spoil it for the reader. That's why I don't want to give all the stories. But tell us. Okay, the first time you find out you're pregnant.
How did I feel?
Yeah. Okay. So you come from a family where your dad is strict about boys, where you've been told don't mess with boys till you're done with school, no relationships.
Yes.
But you've been able to sneak in and out of relationships on the journey from high school, somewhere trying to figure things out. This one evening you go out with a guy. Was it for coffee or something? You watch the stars. He goes to the shops and buys stuff, and
So, when that happened,
what happened?
Getting pregnant.
Don't say when it happened. How did you get there, and what was your reaction? Your response?
So, first year, university.
Yeah.
First time away from home. I've always been in day school.
Yeah.
There's a semblance of freedom. I can do what I want, wear what I want, be who I want to be. So I am tinkering around. Tinkering and finding things out about myself.
Yeah.
I still had a strict policy of no sex until marriage.
Yeah.
But I was playing around with the boys, flirting, dating, trying not to find myself in a situation where sex can happen. But then, lo and behold, I find myself in this situation with one. What was the name I gave him?
I don't know.
So I changed the names
Yes.
to protect these
I
individuals.
know. So you find yourself with this guy.
Yeah, I find myself with this guy.
I don't want to give all the details because I don't want somebody to get the book and go straight to that place.
Page.
I want them to be able to read from the beginning as the story builds. So that's why I'm just picking pieces of it so we can show your experiences.
So the first night we met is when I lost my virginity.
Question, stop right there. What about him? So you've danced the middle ground for a while, for a long time, and you've been a pro at not getting caught on the other side, but you're playing the middle ground with a bunch of guys and still being able to get away with it. what was different about this one guy that flipped you over to the other side in a day, in a moment?
This person was a replica of my father.
Aha. Okay.
Yes,
I get it.
he was a replica of my father.
Mm-hmm.
And we didn't even, between the first time that we met and
Yeah.
the second time, there was not much communication happening.
Mm-hmm.
But then the second time we met,
Yeah.
it's at his house.
Mm.
I believe I am safe.
Mm.
There's a little alcohol in the picture,
Yeah.
probably clouds my judgment.
Mm.
And then everything that's happening is new. I don't know how to feel about it, but I
Yeah.
still feel safe. On top of that, there is a lot also happening. I am out of home for the first time.
You don't know how to handle these things.
Yes, I do not know how to handle those
Yeah.
things. My family is also breaking apart.
Yeah.
I'm probably running away from the reality.
The
of
reality
that.
of your family falling
Yes,
apart,
falling
and
apart.
being alone at campus. And then there's this guy who reminds you of your dad. He makes you feel safe. And then now there's also a little alcohol getting you excited and tipsy, clouding your
Yes.
judgment. Okay.
Yeah, so things go down.
Yeah.
I wake up the next morning
Mm.
terrified.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, now I think the Lord is done with me. I had to go home that day. The stories we used to hear in school is like when you have sex, the way you walk changes.
Yeah.
So I was trying to remember how was I walking yesterday.
So that the whole world
So
does
that
not
does
see.
not know that
Yeah.
something happened to me yesterday. So I probably lost my mind that day when I left his house.
Yeah.
Because it was the first time I assumed he would never meet again, because
Yeah.
like who sleeps with someone the first time they met them? But it happened.
Yeah.
And I go home, I'm pretending. I'm very tired, exhausted, because I'm trying to walk a certain way. And then eventually, end of the day, I go back to my hostel. And then I realized I didn't even have my phone the whole time. You can imagine how
You left it
out
at
of
his
this,
house.
yes, out of this world I was to not notice I didn't have my phone the whole day. It's until I reach my hostel and I take a deep breath and I realize, oh, I don't
go
have
back for
my phone.
Yeah.
And going back, hey, I stayed for 3 years
For 3 years.
in that relationship.
Oh, I thought you when you went back you moved into
No,
the
I didn't
house.
move. I've actually
Okay.
never cohabited. Yeah, we dated for 3-4 years.
Okay.
Yeah, but in first semester I got pregnant,
Yeah.
and I think I realized I was pregnant. The semester had ended, and I went back home, and I was feeling a funny taste in my mouth. And then I puked. I woke up one morning and I puked. I was like, oh, game over.
You're like, we're done.
This must be it. This is
Yeah.
what I have read, seen in the movies. So I cook up a story. I tell my dad, I've just been called. There's one more exam that I need to do, so I need to go back.
So you ran away
Yeah,
from
because
home.
around that time, Mook was striking. So we
Yeah.
had some time off semester, and then we're supposed to go back. So the time was not like set of you're supposed to be here for 4 months. We had a 3 whole month break in the middle there. So I lied about a test. I went back to the hostel, and yeah, I'm pregnant. I'm very scared. I do not know what to do. I call this person and I was like, I am pregnant. So for me, when I'm thinking I'm pregnant, in my mind, I'm going to become a mother.
Yeah.
I do not know how to handle that. Abortion was not
On the table.
on the table for me. Like, it's not, I'd never really thought about it because I never saw myself in that place. And then he brings it up. And when he brings it up, he also comes with a good justification
Yeah.
for it. And it makes sense. So I'm thinking I'm the firstborn. Ate, child of God. Ate, grew up in Sunday school.
How
Really?
do I get caught
How?
up in this mess?
How?
How do they see me with this?
This is an escape route for me. Yeah, and so he was a medic.
Yeah.
So, yeah, we did the procedure. Very, very painful. And I feel like a part of me died
Yeah.
on that day. Yeah, so that happened, and for some reason I stayed in that relationship. I stayed in it for a long time until the epiphany moment at the lake when I asked myself 3 years later, but what are you doing with your life? When I asked myself that question, because one of the things my mom taught me was God and faith.
Yeah.
I was like, let me go back to that. Because when I was in uni, I had left church. I wasn't going to any church.
You're just exploring
Yeah.
life and the new freedoms and, you know.
So I went back to God 3-4 years later. I started pursuing him. Find myself in a community of believers. And then just start building my personal relationship with God. But because of all the things that happened while I was in school, so many dreams that I had that did not, I was just existing. I was just existing. I was going with the flow. Where the wind blows me is where I go. I love food. Let me enter the hospitality business. So my life was just going with the wind.
Phase 2, second pregnancy.
How
do we get there?
Second pregnancy, I feel like now I'd be spoiling. Let's just skip to the one where I get an actual baby.
Okay.
Yes, because for context, for anyone who is listening, there are very many abortions.
Where many is like how many? 5, 8, 10?
4.
4.
There were 4, all within 4 years, I think, 3 years.
And this is
with the same person.
Same person.
Yes.
So you stayed in this relationship even when you had a hint of discomfort of what was going on. You still stayed.
I don't think there was discomfort. I feel like because of everything that was happening, I grew numb. So I wasn't really feeling emotions.
Okay,
I was
you
simply
switched off emotional. You were just existing.
I didn't have my dad anymore. Family had broken apart. We had lost everything. Like everything that was happening was new. I didn't know how to deal.
And this was the only seemingly safe space.
Yes, because while there was all these terrible things happening, I also felt loved, felt wanted.
You thought
I was affirmed.
you were loved. Yeah.
Exactly. Again.
So the things you were looking for from your father, this person was giving.
Yes.
I'm trying to connect the pieces of how a person would stay in that relationship and what are the things that got you into that relationship and got you to stay after the first abortion, the second one, and you didn't go like, oh my gosh, okay, second time, oh my gosh, third time, where the natural instinct would be, it has happened once, I am not doing this. If there's no clarity, I am out of here. But you still didn't. That's why I'm looking to see the false security that kept you there, where you're saying, I'm not quite liking this, but
I guess, I was thinking about that whole scenario a few weeks ago.
Yeah.
And I guess I had no regard for life, for my life.
You just went numb and said, I wake up in the morning, I do what I have to do, I go to bed next day.
Yeah. So I went numb. I had no regard for life. What made me think about it 2 weeks ago is because, not 2 weeks ago, March 1st, I was writing about the things I'm grateful for. And I tell myself I'm really grateful for life now.
Yeah.
There are so many instances where I could have lost my life.
Yeah, 4 abortions, one of those could have taken you out.
But I'm still here. And I do not know how. And I have this newfound love for life, because it could have gone. And I didn't know. So I asked myself, was that my version of being suicidal? Like, I'm not necessarily saying I'm going to kill myself, but I'll just whatever will be, will be.
Yeah.
So I'm not protecting my body. I'm not protecting my mind. I'm just simply existing.
Yeah.
And yeah, because I was not exposed to, let's say, like suicide as a concept. I hadn't really read on that. So I didn't know about that. But I guess if I knew about it then,
You probably would have chosen that as an option.
I don't think chosen, but it would have been something that I thought about or considered, because life didn't really have meaning. So I was...
In that time, what were your friends thinking about those things that were happening?
They only knew about the fast.
Oh, and then you kept it hush hush after
Yes.
that.
I didn't tell them about the rest
Okay.
because
You didn't want to be that girl that they were going
not
to
really.
tell. Yeah.
I just didn't really care to tell
After
them.
that, yeah.
I didn't care to tell them. For my particular group of friends, we all had like a lot going on.
Everyone had their batch of
Yes,
drama. Yeah.
their batch of, especially with like families
Yeah.
were breaking apart. You've reached university is quite expensive. So now you're experiencing no tuition for the first time, and you do not understand how your parents can't afford to pay tuition. So all these things are new. Like, you're broke, you don't have money. What do you mean?
Yeah.
There is no food. Like, you're experiencing life for the first time. So because everyone is going through that, and for me now, I've completely closed off. If you don't ask me, I won't tell you.
Okay. So then how do you finally decide to have a child?
This was now years later. I'd moved on. I built my relationship with God. But I'm still struggling with certain habits that I had picked up from
along the way.
Yes,
Yeah.
so you're still trying to get rid of these things as you're building your relationship with God. And so I'm dating this person and we're intimate.
This is a different person.
Yeah, this is different. This is years later.
Okay.
Very many years later. I've even healed from this particular person that I date in uni. I've moved on. Yeah, life, on a purpose journey, self-discovery. I know certain things about myself. I've made friends. I'm in a church community now. Yeah, but again, certain things follow you if you haven't dealt with them. Yeah, so I didn't deal with, I just moved on. Close the chapter. Next. And so I'm dating this person. We were together for a month before things became shaky. And I realized, I don't think I want to be with this person because they were not honest about many things.
Yeah.
But after graduation, because I graduated late, I had a retake. So I graduated in 2019 instead of 2016. So I get pregnant. And I swear, no, not I swear, I would have thought of abortion because been there, done that, haven't dealt with it. I can do it again. Then I receive a call. Immediately I find out. I did not even have time to think. I receive a call from a neighbor and he says, God is saying, whatever challenge is coming, I'm going to be there with you.
Wow.
And that was my decision made for me. I didn't doubt for a second. I just believed
that God has
that God is going to take care of this situation. So yeah, it was just a God command and just me being obedient to God.
And how do you tell your dad about this?
My dad was actually the last person to find out.
Who was the first one to find out?
Who was the first? Between my mom and dad, it was my mom.
Oh, okay.
Before that, it was the father of the child. 2 weeks. No, actually, the day that I found out, in the wee hours of the morning, he came to my place because we had broken up. So he had come to like apologize and what, and I'm like, guess what? I think we are stuck together.
While you're at it,
we are stuck.
Found out.
Yeah. So I'm like, dude, I can't avoid you even if I wanted to now. Like, we are going to have a baby.
Are you still together?
No.
Okay.
So he did not agree, has never agreed to date.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so that chapter ended there.
Got close. And how did your parents take this?
Of course, they were not. Again, this keeping the baby was a whole God ordained thing.
Yeah.
Because one of my mom's friends, had a dream, and God was telling her to tell my mom, if you at any one point mishandle this girl, I shall withhold from you.
Wow.
And so also her, she was on God was watching her to make sure she does not bring any harm to me. And so because of that, I did not have any complications with my mother.
Okay.
Of course, she I think the thing she said to me is like, this is going to be tough, but you will be fine.
So you weren't judged or anything?
No,
That's
I
good.
wasn't.
And your dad?
My dad, the baby was starting to come out. I hadn't yet told him. So I fake being sick and I invite him to my place.
Yeah.
So he comes worried, what is wrong with this girl? What? We sit there with my cousins. Now my cousins were supposed to break the news, but they got scared, so we're just staring at each other. Of what next? And then I just tell him I'm pregnant. And he's like, I knew it. I saw you. You were looking pale. What? And then he explains the father. I'm like, he does not want to be involved. Like, how can he eat food and not wash his hands? And then he becomes all tribal. Man, you're supposed to bring a cow. We are taking you. Why is she in this house? Take her to the man's house so that they can take care of her. Yeah. So he was disappointed.
Yeah. Naturally. Understandably.
Yes. Especially by the fact that
The
even the
father
man
wasn't
is
being
not
part of it. Yeah.
a responsible person. Yeah, so the next day, he said other stuff that I don't know if I wrote about. I think I did. And the next day, he calls and he apologizes to me. And he says, I'm really sorry for how I acted yesterday. You're actually an adult. You graduated. You finished school, really. You don't owe us anything.
Yeah.
And yeah, and he says, this has happened and we'll figure it out. If the man is not in the picture, it is okay.
Yeah.
Whenever he
We'll
comes
work
around.
it out,
But for now, you have us. So
That's
don't worry. Don't
beautiful.
try to beg this man when you have your people. Yeah, and God really, really, I never felt judged, honestly. If I felt judged in any way, it was because of my own thoughts, me thinking about these things. But God really protected me. Even the church that I was going to then.
They were supportive.
Yeah, they were supportive. Of course, they communicated their... The man of God did say that...
His disappointment.
Yeah, but... Which was reasonable, really.
Yeah.
I understood where they're coming from, but he also said this has happened. They supported. One thing I remember is he even took me on a date one weekend just to check in on me. How are you doing? How are you managing this?
Yeah.
They contributed to some of the bills.
That's beautiful.
So it was really a good moment for me. Like I felt
God gave you community in that time.
I felt the love of God. Never felt judged in any way.
Wow. So how moving further on, how does your father feel reading about all this in your book? Because I saw you had a post where he read the book. There was a picture and all that.
Yes, he was the first one
to read the book.
Once I published.
Yeah.
Took it to him. When I took it, I was like, please read it when I'm not here. He kept trying to open. I was like, please.
You don't want to answer questions.
Yes, first wait for me to leave.
Yeah.
So I leave the book with him. I think he starts reading immediately. I leave because he calls me in the evening and he's crying and he's like, I'm so sorry that you had to go through all that.
Yeah.
I'm so sorry for the things that I did. I did not think my actions would affect you guys like that. Then he's like, I'll call you back tomorrow. And the next day he finishes the book and he says, I'm so proud of you, of how you've owned your story. I'm so proud that you even have the boldness to tell it, to inspire other young girls out there. Yeah, he just said, I'm proud of you. And he's like, please forgive me. I'm going to be overcalling because I'm still recovering
I know.
from what I just read. And so, yeah, around that season, he would call in almost every day to check in, see how I am doing. And yeah, it felt really nice and understood, again, experiencing the love of God through the book and even through my father and even the people that have read it and the testimonies that come my way.
Yeah.
It makes
And-
me realize that my labor was not in vain.
Your sins were not in vain. Your
Labor,
labor in the
my
Lord.
labor in the Lord was not in
How
vain.
how has it been for you looking through this book and seeing your life? It's one thing to live the life, it's another to actually look
Look
at it
at
and be
it.
like, oh my God, okay, I did that. Like to mirror, to look in the mirror and see these things. How has it felt for you? I remember you mentioned that some of these situations are still painful, that you're still dealing with the pain from them. Like which one?
The abortions.
Okay.
This is the first time I am
Openly talk
openly
about it.
talking about them,
Yeah.
because I still don't know how to. I often ask myself, but why?
Mm.
Why would you do that to yourself? Why did
Yeah.
you keep going back?
Mm.
Couldn't you think of contraceptives?
Yeah.
Like, why did you do that to yourself?
So are you still in that self-condemnation phase
No,
or
I'm not really. Again, because I went numb, I
yeah.
haven't really felt the
Oh, you haven't felt the
emotions.
emotions of
Yes.
it. So it's like fresh wounds. You're
Yes.
ripping off the
I
scars.
remember the day that I wrote
Mm.
that particular chapter.
Yeah.
I felt a glimpse
Mm.
of the pain and I shut it down immediately. I was like, hey,
Mm.
I will die.
Mm.
I will die if I open this can of worms right
Yeah.
now. I don't think I am ready for it. And so I removed myself from the book and just put on the writer element and wrote my heart out. By the grace of God, I wouldn't have been able to without God, like going back in time, because some of these things had flashed out
Yeah.
of my
Now you're
memory,
facing them.
but now I'm reliving them.
Yeah.
Writing about it sort of helped me, like, I'd say, like, unload,
Face. Yeah.
like, put it there. Now I can look at it. But the feelings and emotions I think and believe I'm yet to deal with, I've been telling myself I need to take this book to a therapist, ask her to read, and then we can do therapy, because I think I told you I haven't read the book.
Yeah.
I am very scared to face that.
Yeah.
It's quite heavy, it's raw, it's very vulnerable. However, after launching it on my birthday, I felt like a load
Was taken off.
lifted.
Yeah.
And that's why I say, after putting the book out there, it's like now I'm living again and I'm discovering these new things about myself, discovering fears that I have that I need to deal with. I feel like I'm very self-aware right
great.
now.
What do you want the person who reads this book to know? What do you want them to take from this book?
3 things, if I remember correctly. The first one is, there is no place far deep enough where redemption can't reach you. Like, there's no place God can't find you. He will come and he will get you out of there. Abortion is a taboo topic. It's a taboo thing. It's murder. I did not think that I was ever
Going
coming
to do
out
it.
of that place, or even would ever experience the love of God after doing that.
Yeah.
But lo and behold, here I am today, and I feel very loved by God.
Amen.
Another thing is, we are responsible for our realities. In as much as all the circumstances may manipulate us, for lack of a better word, into making certain decisions.
Mm.
At the end of the day, at some point, you have to wake up
Mm-hmm.
and take charge of your life
Yeah.
and start to make the steps towards living a meaningful life, living life of purpose,
Yeah.
and also making right decisions, because we are the decisions that we make. Sometimes you don't have to learn from mistakes.
Yeah.
You can actually learn from
Learn
other
from
people.
wise counsel and other people's mistakes.
Exactly. So
You
I've
don't
written
have
the
to leave
book so
them.
that girls out there don't have to live that life.
Oh, okay.
They can protect.
So you can create awareness of these things that could take them down the drain, and they can find a way to avoid making the same mistakes you made.
Yes, and the ones who have made it,
Yeah.
you can actually come out
Yeah.
of that place, take charge of your life, build community of people who hold you accountable.
Yeah.
I guess one of the things that I didn't have was accountability. No one held me accountable for the decisions that I made, and so I would do anything that I want when I want.
Yeah.
If I had someone that was close enough, they would know that these things were happening, and
They'll help you
they
navigate.
would help me navigate it.
Yeah.
And then another important thing is spirituality and God, and how that is very important for living life, because really, who are we without God?
Yeah.
Who are we without His presence? Who are we without His grace? Everything that we do stems from the foundation that you have with God, because He's the author of our lives. He's the one that knows the plans, and so we're better off following His lead than doing our own things.
Yeah.
And then coming right back, because you always end up right back to where He wanted you to be. So it's very important to cultivate a relationship with God. It's very important to have a community of believers around you who can hold you accountable. It's very important to read His word and be in tune, because sometimes the Bible can seem very boring, but those words really come back at you. Like, the point is, just read it. It has power. At some point, He graces you with the grace to pray, the grace to read, but you have to make a step, because God does not force Himself on anyone. He has given us free will. And so you have to make the decision to walk with Him.
Amen. So where do we find this book?
The book is currently available on at Mahiri Books.
Mahiri, how do you spell that?
Mahiri, Mahiri. Yes,
Books.
Mahiri Books. It's a website.
Okay.
Online store.
Mahiribooks.com.
Yes, they deliver worldwide.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Miss International.
They deliver worldwide, so you can get your books there. I'm working on getting it on Amazon.
Okay.
We're still doing a few edits.
Okay. To make it accessible to Amazon.
Yeah. No, actually, even editing, cleaning it up a bit.
Oh,
there's always something to edit.
I know.
When you're writing. So yeah, I'm doing like a second sweep.
Okay.
And then we'll have it on Amazon and probably print.
That's
the first
beautiful.
batch is almost sold out. So
wow, that's a good job you've done.
Yeah.
I've seen a few people talking about how you've helped them voice the things they've dealt with and all that. I'm sure you've gotten some great feedback from that.
Yeah. Every time, especially a lady reaches out to me, it again, my labor was not in vain.
Yeah.
And this was a good thing. I remember in the middle of writing, asking God, but why am I pouring my heart out to these people? Like, why does it have to be me to do this? And then He said, it's not about you. And once I realized this has nothing to do with me, I think it gave me peace.
Yeah. But I also feel like healing for you is coming through this book.
Yes. Even from the feedback
Yes.
that I get. So
That's what I'm saying. From what other people are saying, it's sort of creating a community that is pouring back into you to help heal the wounds that you've been exposed. You can't heal what you don't expose. So I feel like you exposing this is God bringing healing through the people that are buying it and reading it, people that are encouraging you, and it's helping you rediscover who you are.
that's very true. Every time I'm going through like a low, for some reason someone buys a book.
Wow.
And when they buy a book,
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, there's this one good thing I have going.
Yeah.
So every time, like, I'm in a slippery slope because life is lifing.
God
For
sends a
some
customer to
reason,
buy a
someone
book.
buys a book. Like, it's become my
Beautiful.
new testimony.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, someone has bought a book. It makes me feel seen
Yes.
and valued by God.
Yeah.
He has, like, I'm not here for nothing. I'm here
know.
for a purpose.
So we have to close. It's been such a conversation. Thank you for coming through. Thank you for allowing to be vulnerable and speaking about these hard things. And thank you for sharing your story with the world. Thank you for coming to Life Be Podcast. We have the book. It's called I Thought I Would Wear Heels to My Wedding. At least we've given you a sneak peek into the story so you can go buy the book and find out a lot more that we haven't shared about, that is in here, that is interesting, that is jaw-dropping. Jaw-dropping. How is
Jaw
it?
dropping.
Jaw-dropping.
Dropping that jaw.
Yeah, I'm like. Anyways, it's at how much? 50,000?
65,000.
65. It's expensive. 65,000. You can buy yourself a copy at 65,000. Go to mahiri.com.
Mahiri.com.
Mahiri.com. You'll find out how you can access this book all over the world. Thank you for watching. Thank you for taking time to listen to her story. We're here to create platforms where people can be authentic and share their stories to help other people identify, feel heard, feel seen, to help other people get answers to the things they're dealing with, and to be a voice of encouragement to others. This is why we tell these stories. This is why we exist, so that we can identify with you, tell stories to inspire you and encourage you. Thank you for watching. Please like, share, click the notification button so you can get our next episode when it comes out, and you can support us through Cash App, through mobile money. All the details are in the description below, and share with your friends so we can keep the stories running. God bless you. We love you. Bye-bye.
Thank you for tuning in to the Life Be Podcast with Sami-K. Your support means the world to us. Please leave a comment, subscribe, and share to help us grow and continue bringing you valuable content. We appreciate you.